What's good, everybody? It's when I come back at you on a video. So it's been a while since I recorded a video just because I've been busy with family things, and you probably hear it in my voice that I'm right now recovering from what appears to have been a cold, right? So nothing major. But of course, nonetheless, I'm thankful to be here recording videos for you guys again. And with this video, I wanted to talk about one thing that could prevent you from reaching your potential. And that one thing, right, I have it here in my hand. That one thing is screen time, right? It is your phone. Now, I understand if you work using your phone, right? That's a little different. I'm referring to those who essentially are always on their phone. And the reason for this is because your phone obviously can be, of course, your phone itself is a very useful device, right? It can give you information at your fingertips, right, of pretty much anything that you need. Super useful. Obviously, you remain in communication, remain in touch with friends, family, etc. But oftentimes, your phone can also serve as a major distraction, and in most cases, people are oblivious to how much time they spend on their phone, right? Now, this is one of the major factors, right? Screen time, right? Because oftentimes your phone can serve as a distraction, but I'm referring to distractions in general, but the phone is being one of the major distractions, right? People are oftentimes oblivious to the amount of screen time they spend, right, on their phone, and it takes them away from two things, right? It takes them away from being present in the moment, right? From appreciating the now, appreciating what's going on in your life, um, appreciating, yeah, like literally your environment, right? What it is that you're doing right now. And it essentially serves as a distraction from that. And what you guys need to remember is that your phone, the digital world, is not necessarily the real world, right? Like there was a point in time, I know it might be hard to think about, but it was a point in time where there were no phones, right? Like I remember as a kid, we had house phones and that was it, right? Like we didn't have cell phones at that time. And people were still able to function, people were still able to, go about their day to day and live their normal lives, right? So the phone, it can take your attention away from being present. It can take your attention away from all of the great things that are happening right now in this moment, and that continue to happen in your life. That oftentimes people can't see the good because they're not paying attention, because they're always on their phone, right? And oftentimes it'll be mindless scrolling on social media. That's usually the biggest thing, right? It took me getting off of social media for me to realize how bad it was, in the sense that like when I like logged out of the apps, or even took some of the apps off my phone, it was like when I didn't have anything to do, I just impulsively grabbed my phone, I put in my passcode, and then I would impulsively just hit the location of where the app, like for example, like Instagram would be like the app that I used to use most. I had it muscle memory of unlocking my phone and automatically just pressing Instagram, until I kept realizing that, you know, either that I logged off of the app, or like that I got rid of the app entirely off my phone. And because it was happening to me, I can only imagine how that would be for other people, right? And for me at the time, I was only using Instagram, right? When I know that there were other people who were using Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, right? Like they had Twitter, right? Like they had everything. So I can only, for me, it felt like Instagram was already too much to like manage and be on top of. So I couldn't imagine being on all the social media platforms. There were plenty of folks who have all the social media platforms, right? So that not only takes away your attention, it takes away from you being present and appreciating what you have here right now in the moment. It also serves as a distraction from you as far as pursuing your goals, pursuing your dreams, right? Because there's plenty of people who feel as though they want to do things, but they feel as though they don't have the time. And yet they don't realize that a lot of that time is going out the window for them being on their phones. And there's nothing wrong with using your phone on your spare time and being entertained, right? I'm human, right? I get it. But there are folks out there who, because they're always on social media, they're always on their phone, they're training themselves to be a consumer, right? That's consumer mentality. On social media, you're probably scrolling through social media, consuming other people's content, right? Consuming the ads that appear, right, on videos, on just scrolling through like different advertisements, right? So you're always consuming, and you're accustomed to seeing other people, how they run their lives or how they live their lives, right? All these things, rather than you creating, right? Rather than you being able to start working towards what it is that you want to work towards, right? If you were to put that down and begin thinking about what is that you want out of life, or begin taking steps towards what is that you want to create, or where it is that you want to be in the future, right? You will realize that you have time to work towards that dream, right? You don't have to necessarily drop everything, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to go that extreme, but like sometimes people may not even be aware of where the time goes, or how time flies so fast when they're just mindlessly scrolling or being entertained on their phone. And that could also be time that you can use towards pursuing your dream, right? And in whatever avenue it is, that's time that can be used towards that. So I don't want to like be the productivity police, right, and essentially tell you what you should and shouldn't do, but I just don't want you to fall into the trap of essentially becoming addicted to being on your phone, becoming addicted to screen time, and addicted to just mindlessly scrolling and just consuming all the content that comes your way, right? There comes a point in time, hopefully, in your life that you want to reduce it, right? And begin being present, begin being aware of the moment, being aware of how you're feeling, and appreciate the things that are going on in your life. And if you're a creator, right? We all create, right? Like we are creators. We have our minds. We can use our imagination. We can think for ourselves. Stepping away from that, from the phone, from screen time, you'll begin to realize how much time you actually have on your hands, how much additional time you have on your hands that you can put towards doing something productive. And you can put that time towards creating something, towards building something, because it's a lot more fun building towards something, feeling as though you're building something and building towards something, rather than having to just sit back and consume what other people are creating or building, right? At a certain point, you want to, ideally, right, you want to create something or do something that you enjoy, right? You want to build the life that you've always wanted. And it becomes much more challenging to do that if you're always being distracted, if your mind is always being occupied on other things, right? That's why I feel like social media also affected people's ability, their attention span, and their focus becomes a lot of times on these platforms and these videos, right? It's just so much dopamine because they have all these cuts in these videos and all these sound effects and all these visual effects and everything to just grab your attention, that becomes the norm. That's what people are looking for all the time. And you can let go of that, right? You can begin doing something productive. Imagine if the same amount of time, like if you were to check your screen time, right, and for a week you calculate how much time you spent on your screen, or your phone tells you that, and then dedicate next week to using that same amount of time towards something you actually want to build, or something you actually want to do, whether that's a hobby, whether that's whatever it is, right? You will most likely have a much higher level of happiness, because now you're not letting your life just go by, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, social media and all that stuff, it doesn't mean anything. It's meaningless, right? Like, go out and live life. Don't let life just go by you. Go out and actually live life. Go out and experience life, right? Minimize your screen time, minimize your distractions, so that you can truly appreciate the life that you have and the things that are in your life and the blessings. Because if you're outside going for a walk and your face is glued to your phone, like, how are you going to appreciate the weather, how nice it looks outside, how nice the trees are, the people that are walking outside in your neighborhood smiling, walking their dogs, right? The birds chirping, right? Those are things that you will probably not even notice or appreciate because your attention is all on your phone, right? Like, we need to have barriers. We need to begin separating these things, right? And begin everything, you want to have moderation with all things, right? So the one thing, of course, right, summing up with this video, the one thing that could prevent you from reaching your potential is or are distractions. And the main distraction that most people have in their life is their phone, is their social media, is their screen time. If you reduce that, a lot drastically, or even completely like minimize it, then you will find that you have a lot more time to build something, and you will find much more happiness in building something. Because oftentimes people do scroll mindlessly on social media because they want to compare themselves with other people. They want to fantasize themselves being in a different position than where they're at right now. It's like, it's great to have dreams and to fantasize and all these things, but why not also take action towards that? Why not also work towards that? Right? You can do that. You just need to begin cutting out those distractions and remind yourself that you are the main character. That you're not a side character to everyone else, that you are a main character, and you can do that, and you can create that. So it's time that we start. It's time for us to get started and start working towards reaching our full potential and begin appreciating everything here in our lifetime. So that wraps up the video. Enjoy the video. Do leave a like and subscribe, as we are on the road to 100 subscriber, guys. So once again, this is Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.